will be recorded and posted onto YouTube. Also, if you do have a question, please ask it on the questions tab on the GoToWebinar control panel. And at the end, I will go through and answer questions that are there. I will go through the entire session. Should take approximately 30 to 40 minutes, and then we will answer questions at that point. At any time during or after the session, you'll have my contact information, as you already do. You can use that information to send me an email, as well as make a phone call. I will warn you, though, that phone calls are answered few and far between because of the sheer volume. So if you can email the question with your phone number, then I can contact you back with the answer. All right, to begin. Good afternoon here on the East Coast. My name is Matthew Marshall. I am the ePlan State Tier 2 Coordinator for the University of Texas at Dallas. I have been working with ePlan for many years now and assisting with facilities submitting Tier 2 reports. Today we're going to go over how to use ePlan on submitting a Tier 2 report, and I will try to answer questions. One thing I will caution you is I am not able to give you an opinion on whether you should or shouldn't submit a Tier 2 report for the chemicals that you have. I am merely here to show you how to do the submitting. Okay. So, who has to submit a Tier 2 report? If you'd like to read the law, it is 40 CFR Part 370.10. And who must comply with reporting or meet one of these two criteria? First of all, you must report if OSHA requires your facility to prepare or have available the MSDS/SDS for a hazardous chemical, and if either of the following conditions are met. The first thing is it's an EHS chemical, an extremely hazardous substance. And the EHS chemicals are found on the list of lists. If it is on the list of lists, the amount is either 500 pounds or the threshold planning quantity, TPQ. Different chemicals have different thresholds, such as chlorine gas has 100-pound threshold planning quantity, whereas sulfuric acid has 500-pound threshold planning quantity under EHS. If it is not on the list of lists, then it is a non-EHS, and that is 10,000 pounds. I will preface this by saying make sure that you check with your local jurisdiction, because they are able to change amounts for chemicals. There are certain places in the United States that require reporting less than the threshold planning quantity. So, to start, the website that you will log into is erplan.net. erplan.net, and you will click the online Tier 2 eSubmit login page. You are Tier 2 submitters. You are not first responders. That's the facility managers, business owners, and things. So you'll click the login page. Once you click the login page, you will come up to our next page. This is where you must remember your access ID. And if you do not remember your access ID, you can click the Forgot Access ID, and we will send you the link to the access ID. Also, if you forget your password but you know your access ID, you can do that as well. If you have never submitted a Tier 2 report electronically, you can click the Create an Account. This is your first time using ePlan. Please find out if your facility is already in there. I will say, in this year's Tier 2 reporting, we have an additional state of Alabama that is accepting Tier 2 reports, as well as many counties in Virginia. So if you are in Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Mississippi, New York, and Montana, and some counties in Virginia, you use ePlan to submit a Tier 2 report. If you have questions, please contact us. Or when you log in, you can see the list of people that do use ePlan. So once I have my Access ID, I am able to log in using the Access ID code and my password. Once I log in, the next screen will come up as my ePlan online filing submission management. Under this is where I will copy data from the previous year to the current year. This will take all my data that I had put in last year and upload into this year's form. The first thing I will do is drop down from previous year, which is 2015, to the current year, which is 2016, and I will click Copy Data. Once I click Copy Data, you will see 2016 show up. When I click on the 2016, this will take me to my 2016 filing home. As you can see, on the filing status is not filed. That means I am not compliant with EPCRA and the law. So keep an eye on your filing status. As you can see, some things have changed this year. At the top, you are able to search existing facilities that you have. If you have more than 2, 3, or 4, and you would just like to search for a specific facility, you're able to now search through your facilities in order to narrow your search down as opposed to scrolling down. So what we're going to do is show you how to edit the information that is in ePlan. So I will click on my first thing I will do is click on my ABC Chemical Company, the name of the facility. I will click on that. Once I click on the facility information, it will bring up my facility information page. This is where I will double check to make sure my information is correct with my facility email, my company name, my address, and move forward from there. As I scroll down, this is where I can change my location, my lookup latitude and longitude, and validate latitude and longitude. Please validate the latitude and longitude to make sure that your facility is showing correctly on the map. So when I click the validate latitude and longitude, it will open up a separate page where it will flag on Google Maps where that facility is. If it is wrong, you are able to pick up the flag and drag it to where your actual facility is and drop it. Click the update latitude and longitude, and it will automatically update your location on the main page. Also, remember maximum number of occupants. Maximum number of occupants is a maximum number of occupants at any one time on site. That is what the law says. Your type of facility, you will have to answer the questions of whether you're a 302 facility, a 311, 312, also a 313. If you're under a TRI or RMP, the Clean Air Act 112, you have to check whether you fall under those laws. And at the bottom, this is where the name and title of the owner or operator, the authorized representative, will electronically sign the submission. And I save and continue, and I move on to my next page. When I move on to my next page, it's going to bring up a facility identification. This is where I must report an NAICS code, a Dun & Bradstreet. Also, under my value ID, I'm able to scroll through the numbers in order to correctly put in my correct NAICS code. Some states will already have a code in there, such as Alabama and Florida. You are not able to edit or delete those. That is okay. They are the state numbers. You're also able to put your TRI number in here because that is required, as well as your RMP number if you need to put the RMP. And click Next. When I click Next, it goes into my state fields under my facility identification. There may be, in your state, additional fields put under the state fields. Next will be your documents. Under your documents, this is where we can upload a site plan. You can upload the site safety plan, the emergency response plan for your facility, as well as SDSs. You're able to upload all the data. If you see it at the top already, you do not need to resubmit unless you need to update it. And if you need to update it, please delete the previous one and update to the new one. Click the upload after each one, and then next to add a contact. When I need to add a contact, there's many fields I need to fill out. Under this is title, obviously, last name, first name, street address. As I go through submitting my contact information, every facility must have 3 contacts: an owner-operator, emergency contact, that's a 24-hour emergency contact, as well as a Tier 2 information contact. Those 3 contacts must have each facility must have those 3 contacts. You can add more contacts, and that is okay, but you must have at least those 3. Under my contact information, this is information based on this person, as well as my telephone number. I have a 24-hour number. I must put in a 24-hour number. Under my facility information, our facility association, the current facility is in yellow, and I am able to check the boxes at the bottom in order to change and have this same name under multiple facilities. I'm able to change change my contact type for each of the facilities that I have. I click Add and then Next, moving to the next document. As you can see at the top, we have the current facility, the contact list. If you click on that, it'll show you all your contacts, as well as a chemical list. So now we're going to move into the chemical list. When I click the chemical list at the top, I am able to see the chemicals that I have at this facility. As you can see, I have 4 chemicals at this facility with CAS numbers. As I go through each chemical to make sure I have the correct and maximum daily amounts in pounds, as well as the average daily amount in pounds. Certain states require certain things. In the state of Florida, you must put your actuals. On the bottom, under the note, you will see the words EPA's Consolidated List of Lists. That is a link for you to get the list of lists where you will find out if your chemical is an EHS chemical or not at the bottom of the page under the notes. Consolidated List of Lists. Okay, back to the top. Our chemicals, we must have a CAS number as well as a chemical name. We must also check the box for EHS. Now, the EHSs, if it is recognized in E-Plan as an EHS, it will automatically check the box. For trade secrets, this is where you must have the documentation from the EPA in order to check the box. If you have documentation from the EPA that shows that you have a trade secret, you are able to then click on the trade secret. You must say how many days of on-site this information is, and if it is identical as the previous year, its physical state, hazards, and health effects. As I click Save and Continue, it moves on to my storage locations. This is where I type in my storage type, also pressure type, also temperature, and last is the location. This will show the first responders what location. You can add multiple locations for this single chemical. I've seen people with batteries that say the entire facility because they'd be on a forklift, but also adding a second location where the chargers are in the northwest corner of the building or the southwest corner of the building. And then you put the maximum amount at that location. Under the mixture components, this is where you would add your chemical mixture. So, such as batteries, you would put lead, you would also put sulfuric acid, and at the percentages by volume on here. At this point, I have now gone through and I've validated and checked my facility information. I've also checked my location and address and latitude and longitude. I've checked my contact information, and the last thing, I've checked and made sure my chemical information is correct. At that point, I am able to validate my record. Once I click validate the record, which is in the top right corner of my slide, when I click validate record, this will show if I have any errors underneath each of those facilities. As you can see, the first facility, I have the wrong NAICS code. I'm able to click on the blue identification of Edit NAICS at the facility identification page to fix this error. Once I click that, it will take me back to the facility information page, and I am able to add in the correct NAICS code. Once I do that, I also click Validate Record again, and I'm directly taken to the facility passed all checks. My first facility, ABC Chemical Company, you can see warnings, but my second facility ID, Cutting Edge Planning and Training, has passed all my checks. At this point, this is where I can upload data to ePlan. Once your report has passed all submission tests for filing year 2016, click the Upload button. If I was to export a Tier 2 zip or T2S file or a PDF file, it is not complete, and you will have draft on that. So once I click my upload data to ePlan, it brings me to my next screen. As you can see, under the validation status of Cutting Edge Planning and Training, it says passed, but it also says filing status, not filed. So I will check the box next to the facility that has passed, and I will click submit. If I was to print the PDF at this point, it still would say draft on it because I am not filed. So once I click submit, it takes me to my ePlan payment. Now, depending on what state you are in, this screen will be different. In Florida, you will go to the Florida page. In North Carolina, you will go to a specific North Carolina page. In South Carolina, it will automatically be done and you've paid. In Montana, the same. But in Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, you will have to fill this information out. And some counties in Virginia. Once I do this, I can click my credit card payment, check and money order. I will warn you, if you do a check or money order, ePlan must receive the check or money order before March 1st in order for you to have successfully completed the submission process. If we receive it, you will not have a filed facility until University of Texas receives your check for the 2016 filing year. When I move to the next page, I can pay by credit card or I can download the invoice. I download the invoice and I can send it through the mail. At this point, we have concluded the first portion of the online portion. Here is my contact information. I will go through some questions and then I will log in to the website myself and we will go through where and how to get this information. So the first question I will answer is, where can I find the EHS list? There's two locations. You can Google the list of lists, EPA's list of lists. It's on EPA's website. What is the Florida change for inventory field? I don't know that question. Please send that again. What is the access code? I'm assuming you mean the access ID. That is your facility's access ID for the information that's in ePlan. If you don't know if your facility has filed previously, please contact us with your facility information and we will give you the information back on whether or not that facility has already submitted. Okay, this says, how should I enter the following? An above ground tank, 41,000 gallons with contents of aqua ammonia and ammonium hydroxide. You would do it as a mixture. Under the chemical, the first chemical, if you have a name for it, the CAS number would be 0. Type in the name. Under the mixture is where you would put your mixture components and how much you have in each of those mixtures with the SDSs of each of those mixtures. How do you enter storage information for lead acid batteries and forklifts? You say lead acid batteries and forklifts on the information, and I can show you that here. Under the storage location, you would say battery, or you can type in forklift battery. Mr. Parrish, please contact me. That's a question that's quite vague. Please let me know and contact me. What if you are the new Tier 2 submitter and the previous submitter used ePlan to submit? This is where you can send us an email under the Contact Us button at the bottom of the page, and I'll show you that here in a second. And you can request that we send you the access ID. This presentation will be on YouTube, as well as the 4 others that are on there. You can use ePlan for quarterly updates, yes. Depending on your state, you must give them the idea of when you are doing it, and you still have to report to them. How would I go about determining my facility type? You must either contact a consultant or determine it on your own. The law says that the facility is responsible for reporting. I'm sorry, I can't give you that information at this time. Do we have to pay at the same time we submit the report? If you do not pay, then it is not submitted. If you have to wait to submit, and I'll show you where you can use the invoice tab in order to pull up an invoice after you've already completed it. It will not be submitted until it is paid for. Non-EHS, it says as long as you have 5,000 pounds of a chemical, then you still need to add to list. 10,000 pounds is for non-EHS chemicals, but please consult your local jurisdiction as they may be different. But the EPA law says 10,000 pounds. The authorizer does not need to be registered with ePlan. Yes, the invoices for LEPCs are separate. Yes, the 3 contact people can be the same. That is correct. Yes, all 3 can be the same. It says, my owner-operator sold some of its facility to another entity in April. Does the original owner-operator still need to file Tier 2 for the sold facilities? No, they must submit their own. What are the acronyms TRI and PNP stand for? I don't know what PNP, but TRI is Toxic Release Inventory. Let me see if I can find where PNP. I don't know what PNP. We have TRI, Toxic Release Inventory, RMP, which is Risk Management Plan, RMP, if that's what you're asking. Alabama accepts Tier 2 Submit and ePlan. They accept both of them, the state of Alabama. Would it be possible to go over how to upload already put together reports to ePlan? Sure. Give me 1 second. I'll log into that. It says, do you need a separate report for sulfuric acid and lead acid batteries and sulfuric acid in drums? This is how I would suggest that you do it. Under your lead acid batteries and drums, under your chemical details, your CAS number would be for sulfuric acid, and then it would be your actual amounts. I would then add another chemical. Under your chemical, a CAS number would be 0, chemical name would be batteries, and then you would add the mixtures for the second. ePlan will automatically add them together. If you need more, Ms. May, please contact me and I can go over that a little bit more detail. The due date is March 1st to submit your Tier 2 report. If I file through the EPA website, do I have to file under ePlan as well? I don't know what website under EPA that you can file a Tier 2 report. Each Tier 2 report is done on an individual state basis. Federal facilities do not require to submit payment. Is there an option to bypass the payment screen? If you are in the state of Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, New York, you are not exempt from paying the fee to ePlan. The $25 fee is an ePlan fee. Oh, the change from Florida is, okay, so I will show you that here in a second, Mr. Lewis. I understand. Are all of the Alabama sites that I previously filed already in the system? Yes, possibly they are. Please contact us and we can get you that information. But yes, we have uploaded all of Alabama's data into our system. How do you determine what documents you're required to attach to each facility entry? That is based on a local jurisdiction and the state. Depends on the state. You must determine that with the local jurisdiction and the local state. How do I get a copy of the once paid? Will it be emailed to me? If you get I'll show you here in a second. Oh, I don't have it on here. I will show you that here in a second. Why does UT Dallas handle this and not the state of Florida? The state of Florida contracts with UT Dallas to handle this. Yes, he says if you have no changes, you would copy the data from the previous year and then validate the record and complete the transaction. You do not need to change anything. You don't have to input anything. You just have to make sure the information is correct and you can continue with that. States that do not have fees is South Carolina and Montana. North Carolina, you will pay a fee to North Carolina. Florida, you pay a fee to Florida. South Carolina pays for ePlan as well as Montana. How detailed do facility maps need to be? Think of a firefighter at 2 o'clock in the morning responding to your facility. That is how detailed they need to be. Is there an additional fee for credit card payments? No, not that I know of. Depending on the state. If we need to log out while entering data, will the inputted data from the year be saved? Yes, it will be saved. Every time you move to the next screen, it is saved. Are there thresholds for reporting quantities? Is it at any one time or a cumulative quantity over the course of the year? It is at any one time. If the substance is not listed on the list of lists but exceeds 10,000, does it have to be reported? Yes. Anything over 10,000 pounds must be reported. Okay, EHS chemicals at 500 pounds or the threshold planning quantity, and non-EHS is 10,000 pounds. Let me say that again. EHS chemicals is 500 pounds or the threshold planning quantity, and that is found on the list of lists. Non-EHS chemicals, more than 10,000 pounds. Local fire departments are not notified unless you put their email into the system, but check with your local fire department. Some do allow access with ePlan, so you would have to contact each individual fire department. If my facility is idle and the thresholds are not met, do I need to notify or just not submit for the year? You don't have to submit. If the previous year at any one time was not above the threshold, you do not need to submit. If chemical isn't on the list of lists and it exceeds 10,000, should you report it? Yes. Once we report it, how do we send an electronic copy? That is, after you are done and you have validated the system, you can go through, at this point, after the validation process, you are able to export a PDF file, and you can send it. You can export a T2S file or a zip file, however the facility would like it. If you are in Florida, you do not need to send a copy to your LEPC, all right, but you still need to check with your local fire department. Why are only the states mentioned the only ones who must participate? They are the states that use ePlan. Diesel fuel and gasoline are not considered mixtures as long as you have a CAS number. In New York City, we have online Tier 2 reporting system that is administered by local environmental protection agency. Is this data in that system portable to ePlan? If you can export a T2S file, then yes, it is importable into ePlan. And I will show you how to do that here in a second. Does Alabama require payment now? If you use ePlan in Alabama, you must pay the $25 fee per facility in order to submit using ePlan. It is an option in Alabama. It is not a have to. The save option, as soon as you click next or save or update, it automatically saves. New York State does not require the use of ePlan. It is strongly encouraged. I will show you the list of counties in Virginia when I click on that. That's a couple questions there. All major credit cards through for ePlan's website. No, the payment page will not ask for a check number. I would contact your local emergency management. It's actually under the fire department. It says, who do we contact at the local level in order to find out what may be specific to our location? Your local fire department or emergency management, depending on where you are. I previously used Tier 2 Submit for Alabama. How can I access the information? Please send us a contact us with your company information, and we will give you the access ID. All states, all 50 states are due by March 1st. Yes. The range codes did not change from reporting year 2015, but they did change from reporting year 2014. New York State does not contract with UT Dallas for electronic submissions, but they allow electronic submissions. Alabama does not require payment with ePlan. ePlan requires payment to use its system. You can still use Tier 2 Submit if you would like. I don't know if ePlan will become mandatory in New York. The formal method of notifying local agencies, such as fire departments, is by sending them a paper copy if they accept paper copies, sending them a Tier 2 Submit file if they accept Tier 2 Submit files. It just depends on that local jurisdiction. Yes, in Florida, you must do actual amount on site and not maximum container size. Well, you still can put maximum. That's not a requirement. You still put the maximum container, but you must put actual amounts, not range codes. Is forklift propane required to report it as well if you meet the threshold of 10,000 pounds at any one time on site? Okay, so I'm reporting from New York. I file the Tier 2 through New York City EPA filing system. Do I have to report again through ePlan? If that will export the state, I don't know if the state accepts the EPA Tier 2 filing system with New York City. You have to find out if they accept that. Pennsylvania is not on ePlan. They have their own system. New York is not required to use ePlan, but is highly suggested. I will get to the upload here in a second. Will I need to report? I don't know. You have to make that determination on your own if you need to report. All I can say is EPA, the law says if you have a chemical on site that you must have an SDS and you have more than 10,000 pounds. Sometimes when you print before it has been completed, draft will show up on your report. The facility cannot pass with warnings. Jason Brown, please contact me. It says, what if last year's data does not show up? We have to work on that for you. Are facilities in Puerto Rico and U.S. Virgin Islands required? Yes. It says, should each well site have a different facility name or chosen an area or give one facility name and total amount per area? It's each individual facility. That's what the law says. Like I said, this PowerPoint will be available on YouTube. When stating 10,000 pounds and dry pounds of the chemical, if it is in a mixture, that you have to determine on your own of how you want to submit. It is highly suggested to use ePlan for Alabama. That is correct. I actually had a conference call with them today, and they're excited that they're getting so many submissions through ePlan. You will use the Contact Us button to see if your facility has previously submitted their Tier 2 report. I'll show you that here in a minute. You can make corrections after submittal, but you will have to notify people that you have submitted. Yes, if you use a third-party vendor system to upload to ePlan, you can go in and edit it, yes. In Georgia, the state requires ePlan. How do you determine the maximum number of occupants? It's the maximum number of occupants at any one time. That's what the law states. Use zeros with no cast number, yes. Okay, at this time, my contact information is up on the screen, and we will move into showing you some more information on the actual website itself. So, let's log out of this. At this time, you can see the ePlan website, the main site, right here for 16 years, 2016. These are the facilities and the counties that accept ePlan. Here's the list. Down at the bottom here, ePlan Online Tier 2 training video. Click here to watch. That is the YouTube video of last year's, and then this year's will be on there as well. For 2016, UT instituted an administrative fee for organizations. An administrative fee. That is the fee for the states that do not pay for it itself. When I log in, use my Access ID. Usually starts with 101 or 104. And I type in my password. When I type in my password, I'm into my submission home. And as you can see, I have my 2016 already here. If not, I could have gone from previous year, 15, and copied to 16, copy data. If I need to import, this is where I import my Tier 2 file right here. Import Tier 2, I click on the Import Tier 2. When I click on Import Tier 2, this is where I can Tier 2 zip, T2S, Cameo zip file. I can choose a file and upload it here. Okay, go back to that and I'll show you again. When you're inputting your Tier 2 zip file right here, import Tier 2 zip file, import. This is where I import my information. Under my current information, this is where I get my invoice history and invoice for 2016. If I want my invoice for 2016, it's right here. I can download that invoice or I can edit my billing information. Now, depending on your what state you're in, this may look different, but this is the states that use ePlan themselves. I can look at my invoice history. I can go back to the years that I've done them, and I can download the invoice with the information. When I go to my Tier 2 filing management, this is again my front page where I'm able to look up the information. Under my validation, this is where it would pull up my past PDF file. Since it is past, I click on here, create my PDF. Oh, sorry. Because I didn't pay, it still says draft. Once I pay, it will come up as without the draft on it. So once my status is paid and filed, then it will say it will not have draft on it. So at this time, if you would like information on where to get the consolidated list of lists, erplan.net, left-hand side, EPCRA, Title 3, consolidated list of lists. It's also on the ER. It's also on the website. You can Google EPA consolidated list of lists, and this will give you all your information on what your list and what the consolidated and what the changes are as well to the list. E-Plan does not apply to Kansas, Louisiana, or Oklahoma. You are correct. Federal facilities. Federal facilities, I don't understand the question. There is no question. Yes. It says, can I upload tier 2 zip? And if I don't like it, then I'll copy it from the previous year. Yes. Once you copy it over, it deletes the uploaded. In case my company has changed name previous year, we should be able to update company info. Yes, that is correct. When you're asking me about the New York City DEP, please contact me through email and I will give you a call back. The consolidated list is 125 pages. That is correct. Federal facilities do not require to submit payment. That is incorrect when it comes to the payment to E-Plan. There is no, you have to, if you are using E-Plan to submit in Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, New York, you must submit the $25 fee. There is no exemption for federal facilities, state facilities, or local facilities if you are using E-Plan in those states or in Virginia and the counties that they accept. Why? Because the facilities need to pay. Every facility needs to pay. E-Plan is not paid for by the federal government. It is paid for by the facilities that use it. Representing multiple facilities in Indiana is the online tier 2 manager used, and in North Carolina, E-Plan is used. That is correct. Yes, if you copy the data from 2015, you go in and you can up and edit your information by doing this. So when I log in, I go to my 2016 because I've copied it, and then I go into my chemical and I edit my chlorine, scroll down, and now I want to change this to 756,000. Mountain largest container, 100. I just go to the bottom, save and continue. And now it has changed. When I go back to my chemical inventory, as you can see, it has changed. The previous tier 2 reports have been uploaded in the E-Plan, so you can pull them up in the E-Plan system. Yes. So when I log out here, at the bottom, contact us. Click on the contact us, name, email, phone number, and the reason. And then down here is where you will tell us what your facility's information and the information that you will need. To get another facility ID, you don't need to actually get another facility ID. I'll show you what you need to do. Go to my Tier 2 online filing. When I log in, nope. I go to my current year, and then I would add a facility. So in order to add a facility, I would click this right here, add new facility. When I click add new facility, it takes me to a note page, and then I fill out all the information. I can also copy the name from the other facilities that are on there. All right, if I need to. So you would add there. To file previous corrections, I mean, that's up to you. That's not a answer that I can give you. There are no other fees other than $25 to pay to ePlan in those states. The other states do require fees. You must check with your local jurisdiction in order to find out about fees. I cannot tell you how to calculate the battery contents. You must do that on your own. I'm sorry. Site plan attachments are optional when the states say they're optional. If the facility or the local if your local jurisdiction says that you must submit a site plan, then you have to. I strongly encourage that you put a site plan on for first responders. If you purchased a facility that used ePlan, can you access the old ePlan and merge with current facilities? If you are a different company and a new company, most likely not, but please contact us and we'll see where we can go from there. Yes, if there are multiple facilities in the same state with multiple IDs but are the same company, can we put them under? Yes, you can put them under one. What I need is your access IDs. You give me the multiple access IDs, send them to me in an email, and we will have them put under one login. To designate to another, it's not a person. Your access ID is a company / facility. It's not considered a person. The $25 fee is per facility. That is correct. If I have one facility in Florida and one in Alabama, can I do them under one login? Yes. Yes, you can. If we already have the facility in Alabama, or if you've already used Florida but haven't Alabama, contact us with the information from that facility in Alabama, and we're able to put them under one access ID. We just need the information. Use the Contact Us button at the bottom of the page and request your access ID for the facility. They said because there was less than a certain number being 1,000 pounds that we have to file under 302 and 301. I can't give direct information or opinions on that. Sorry. Do we pay separately for a facility in Florida and Alabama? Yes. You will pay the state of Florida for Florida, and in Alabama you will pay ePlan. So it's two different. Okay, at this time I've answered the questions that I've received. If you do have any other questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. I will throw up my contact information one more time, and you're able to see that. So at this time, I thank you for attending this webinar. Be on the lookout for access to the YouTube. And again, thank you for using ePlan. And if you have any questions or concerns, do not hesitate to contact us. Thank you again, and you have a great day.